They lift weights during the season. They're physically strong. They're also 5-0, and they feature one of the state's top running backs. Carl Nathy looks at Michael Penman.
The Lincoln County Patriots have scored 148 points this season. Senior tailback Michael Penman personally has scored 92 of them with 15 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion.
He's got tremendous balance. That's the thing, that he always falls forward and gets that extra yard, and he's got good strong legs, and he's got a little speed and quickness, and he's shown that he's able to run the ball up inside for the power game, and yet when people try to stop him up inside, we go outside with him, and he's got the speed and quickness to do it from there, and he's just a gifted athlete.
Gifted enough to have rushed for 828 yards on 128 carries. Michael, where do you get the inspiration?
In pro, he's retired now, but it was Walter Payton. So now I guess I switched to Herschel Walker.
Number 34, huh?
Yes, sir.
In 1987, Mike Penman rushed for 987 yards, narrowly missing the 1,000-yard mark despite missing 2 complete ball games. This year, he's well on track to go over that milestone. He'd be the first 1,000-yard rusher in Lincoln County history. On the other side of the football, Penman is a defensive back for a Patriot defense which has yielded just 7 points in 5 games.
I like hitting those other running backs, like showing them how it feels to get hit. It's pretty fun.
Next up for Michael and his Lincoln County teammates, a tough assignment at Bowling Green this Friday night. Carl Nathy, 18 Sports.
Looking for a sleeper in 3A football this season, you need not look any farther than Lincoln County. John Jury profiles the undefeated Patriots in this week's team picture.
Everybody kind of knew that the '88 edition of the Patriots would be pretty good. They were 8-3 last year, playing with a bunch of juniors, but not this good, outscoring their 4 opponents 113-7. Go! And the thing of it is, they're not making too much noise along the way.
We feel like there's, a lot of people don't know who Lincoln County is. We haven't been dominant in the past, but we feel like maybe that's playing in our favor right now. I'd like for people to overlook us a little bit right now.
And if anybody's going to stop Lincoln County this year, it's very simple. Shut down Michael Penman. But so far, nobody's done it. He's been averaging over 190 yards and 3 TDs each game.
He's got great balance. He can hit and spin. He always falls forward and gets that extra yard, but he's got big, strong legs. He works hard on his leg strength.
I can't do it without my line. They'll lay it out on the line for me. I just tell them, ask them to block, give me a little hole, and they do it. I mean, you could put a freshman back there, and they could get a lot of yards with that line.
Tough guy to stop.
He's real tough, and I'm just glad that he's on our team.
Chico. Their shining play has certainly caught the eyes of a lot of teams, but none more than Danville and Montgomery County, 2 class programs which were beaten by a combined score of 55-zip. Now the eyes of the Patriots are turning to a 3A title.
When I first got here, there was a sign in the weight room that says State in '88, and this is the year we're going to do it.
We're just owe a lot of people this year, and we're just going to do it for us and for the community and for this high school.
3:30. In Lincoln County, John Jury, 27 Sports First.
The Travel for the Week Award. Lots of great rushers were nominated, but it's the state's leader who's our winner. Any other week, Danville's David Walker would have been honored. His stats last week in the win over Mercer County, 173 yards on the ground with 3 TDs. How about Greg Hackney of state champion Pikeville? In the rout over Phelps, he gained 211 yards and scored 6 times, most of those in the first half. Somerset quarterback Johnny Kane was a one-man show in the victory over Middlesboro, rushing for 81 yards and passing for 117. And one reason why Woodford is still unbeaten, wide receiver Glenn Wilson. He chalked up 139 total yards to lead the Jackets to a 28-7 victory over Jessamine County last Friday night. All very good performances, but all were overshadowed by Michael Penman of Lincoln County. Last week, 213 yards and 4 TDs against Western Hills. Last night against Estill, Penman followed up with 150 first-half yards and 5 scores. Michael Penman, our Foodtown Player of the Week. Mike, you've had a great career, great season. What's been the secret this season?
My offensive line and the weight program. We work hard on weights. My offensive line is big and strong.
Is he the best in the state?
Well, you know, I've seen several. I think he's right up there with the best. He may not be as big as some of them, but he's very versatile.
We're all familiar with saying that old saying, new and improved. Well, tonight, Kaywood Ledford.
Sports is coming up. The Washington Redskins have lost their starting quarterback for at least 4 weeks.
And the Lincoln County Patriots talk about the key to their unbeaten record. Kenny Sports is next.
School football, the Patriots of Lincoln County beefed up over the summer, and they have muscled their way to a 5-0 record. In tailback Michael Penman, the Pats have one of the state's most exciting runners, but the success of this team can be attributed to the tackling, not necessarily of the opponents, but of the weights. Each week of the season, the Patriots continue to pump iron, continuing their off-season workout program. Lincoln County is now among the state's top 3A teams, and folks around Stanford are talking about spending Thanksgiving in Louisville this year. There are 17 players on this team who can bench press at least 250 pounds, and when one asks where the beef is, Coach Larry Phillips proudly points to his awesome front line. Just how good is this team, and how far can Lincoln County go?
Here we put a lot of emphasis on the weight program, and I believe that the weights that give you that physical strength and a lot of confidence, and injury prevention is #1 reason why we lift so many weights. But we've just this success we've had in the weight program, it just seems like it's carried over on the football field for us.
Attribute almost the whole thing to it. You got to have a lot of heart, but you got to have the weight program behind it, back it up.
It's our weights and just the overall talent. It's carried. It's mostly the weight room.
Food Town Player of the Week. But now the 88 campaign is over, and Dave Baker is here with our Player of the Year.
Some impressive numbers racked up by our 4 finalists, but we begin with an all-around athlete. Paris quarterback Todd Hawkins passed for more than 1,000 yards, rushed for almost 300. He averaged 37 yards a punt while hitting 3 of 4 field goals and 22 of 23 extra points. And how about the big backs? Right here in Lexington, Tates Creek's Billy Campbell led the city in rushing for the 2nd straight year. Campbell with 1,285 yards on 160 carries. He scored 11 TDs, but despite all that, he's regarded as the state's top defensive back prospect. Down at the home of the Class A state champs, yards. And our winner had by far the best season. Lincoln County running back Michael Penman. Check out these numbers: 333 carries, 2,243 yards, and a state-high 40 touchdowns. His Patriots came up 1 game short in the state playoffs, but what a sensational season. Michael Penman, our Food Town Player of the Year.
We knew we were going to be pretty good from last year because the whole team was just about juniors, and so we pretty much expected it.
Well, of course, Mike, every time he had the opportunity, would thank his offensive line for the job they did. Mike was an outstanding team player that the offensive line would work for him. They were happy with his success, and there wasn't any selfishness on his football team. Everybody wanted Mike to have a good year.
Did you personally think you were going to have that type of a season, running for over 2,000 yards and scoring 250 points?
Well, I knew I'd do pretty good because of the size and the strength of the line, but I didn't know I'd do this good. But I'm glad it's happening.
Lincoln County wins at home 6-0 over Franklin County. It was Tony Irvin with a 42-yard touchdown run in this one, and right here, this is Scott Newcomb getting outside and hanging on to the ball and showing some nice footwork on a muddy field. He picks up 15 yards there. Franklin County comes back in this game that turns into a defensive struggle. Paul Cobb with a 20-yard pass to